Hi, this is David with the Pacific Home Group bringing you another great episode. Today we're going to discuss, can you cancel when you're a seller selling your home? All right, let's get into this. Oh wait, before we go anywhere, let's like and subscribe. That way you can stay up to date with all of our home tours, our real estate tips and tricks, and anything real estate news. So, can I cancel on a buyer as a seller? Well, the answer is yes, but some things have to happen. Contingencies are one of the things. We've talked about that in a previous video. If you haven't seen it, go into the details here. You can find a link to the other contingency video. So, as a seller, you can have a home of choice contingency, which means that you do not sell your home unless you purchase your next home. Let's say the home of choice, it falls through or you couldn't find it, well then you can cancel on your current buyer. The other way that it can happen is, let's say your buyer doesn't perform on one of their contingencies, whether it's bringing in the deposit 3 days after escrow, appraisal contingency, loan contingency, or the worst is they're just not closing escrow. So as a seller, what you have to do to a buyer is you have to serve them with either a demand to close escrow if they haven't closed escrow on time, or the other one is what's called a notice to perform. They get a certain time frame in the contract. It's standard 48 hours, but depending on what they wrote in there, the buyer gets some time to remedy the contingency that they're in breach of. If they do not finish or remove that contingency in the time frame allotted, you as a seller have the choice at that point to cancel. It's not an automatic cancel. You have the choice to cancel on the deal. So once again, either you have a seller contingency in place where you as a seller can cancel, or the buyer doesn't perform on one of their contingencies. You serve them with either demand to close escrow, notice to perform, and then you can choose to cancel on them then. If you got any questions, please write them down in the comments or contact us direct. If not, don't forget to smash the like and subscribe button. That way you can stay up to date with all of our real estate tips and tricks and home tours. Thanks for visiting us and have a great day. So as a seller, can I cancel on the buyer during escrow? Well, the short answer is yes, you do have to do a few things though. The first reason that you might want to cancel is because let's say you have a home of choice contingency, which means you as a seller are looking to buy the new home. You couldn't find a home, or that home you found, the roof is falling apart, something's just wrong with it. If for some reason you cannot go buy your home of choice, you get the opportunity to cancel as long as you have that home of choice contingency in place. The second reason is because your buyer hasn't performed on one of their contingencies. One of their contingencies can be as simple as they didn't bring the deposit into escrow within 3 days after the purchase agreement being signed, all the way up to they did not remove loan contingencies, or even worse, were demanding to close escrow. How does this work? Well, if they fail to do one of their contingencies, we have to give what's called a notice to perform or a demand to close escrow. Those are the two forms that you have to do first. The buyer does get a couple of days to remedy the items, and if they do, then the contract will continue. If not, then you get to decide. It's not an automatic. You get to choose whether or not you're going to cancel on the buyer or not. So once again, you can do it based upon, I have a contingency to find my home of choice and I couldn't do that. That's one. Or two, the buyer failed one of their contingencies or didn't close escrow and you gave them a notice to perform or demand to close escrow. Those are your main reasons. Hey, if you got any great information, comment down below. If you got any questions about this, also don't forget to like and subscribe to keep up to date with all of our home tours, our real estate tips and tricks, and news.